Hey, what's going on? This is Peter here with the real estate trends and market updates. So as we wind down, it is middle of December 2022, and we got to start focusing on ultimately some business planning. And how we look at it is a couple of factors, really, when you're a business owner. So it doesn't matter if you're looking at real estate or you're looking at lending or you're looking at being an agent or growing your team. You got to put some things into perspective of what you did this year and then what you're going to do in the following or upcoming year of what you did in the following year, so 2021. And then obviously the past performance isn't indicative of future performance. And you need to not focus on maybe failures or falls that happen or anything like that. You need to focus on what pluses that you did this year, whatever that may be. If you added 2 agents, if you added 2 lenders, if you added 15 units to your portfolio, and then what you can do next year and what systems you put into place to be able to manage those things that you want to do next year. So I got 5 things to go over with you on your business plan. So I would go over 1, what is your goals for? Everybody does goals. They ultimately get to New Year's and they do goals, but what are your goals for 2023? Okay. So what are your goals in business? So I would let's just talk about one business. So your active income, I would take a situation with that business, and that being, and it should be broken down. So it should be broken down as a team, should be broken down as what the goals are for that team. So if you have 5 sales agents and you're running doesn't matter what you're running. If you're running an insurance company, if you're running a lending office, if you're running a real estate office, if you're, running car sales or anything like that. So you got 5 sales agents. Okay. So 5 of them. What do you want them to do? Okay. So this is broken down from the 5 that I talk about. So this is a subsection. So what do you want them to do? Do you want them to make 2 sales each a month? Do you want them to do 2 sales each a year? And how does that fit into your overall arching goal? So if your goal production wise is to sell 50 widgets or 100 widgets, depending on what that commission structure and also that revenue looks like, then I would line that out to now quantify it for those agents. So let's just take 100 homes. So you want to sell 100 homes. Okay. And now all of a sudden, let's do 125. So 125 homes. Okay. And you have, let's say, 5 agents. All right. So that being said, you can do 125 homes, 5 agents, 25 homes an agent for the year. So 25 homes. Okay. Got it. And that's 5 agents. Okay. Including yourself. So if you include yourself in there, then you do 25, the other agent does 25, the other agent, and on down the line. So there is going to give you the projection. Okay. So now you need to break that down further. Okay. So if it's 125 homes, average price is 500,000. The commission is, let's say, 2% of that sales price, which is 10K. All right. So you get 10K, and then you can take that 10,000 times 125. You're looking at 1.25 million as GCI, gross commission income. Okay. That's how you look at it. All right. So then now that's your projection on what the agents are going to do. So you have expectations. So that's roughly 2 homes a month, right? So agents are doing 2 homes a month. Okay. So how are you going to do that? So you go back to the goals of 2023. So I want to sell, I want to do 125 loans in the year. How are you going to get there? Okay. And then break it down on a number figure, because now it makes more sense. So now I know, okay, so 2 homes a month for each agent. So how are we going to meet that? How many conversations do you need to have to get to that scenario? How many people do those agents need to talk to? How many leads need to come in to get there? Okay. So you have that. That's broken down. That's perfect. Okay. And then from there, so you got boom, goals of 2023 for the business. And you got some subsections in there. Then, okay, what's your strengths? Okay. Of in the business planning. So what's the strengths of your business? Okay. That's number 2. So are you guys good at lead follow-up, but not good at marketing? Are you guys good at lead gen, but follow-up could be a little bit better? Are you guys bad on conversion from this one avenue, but you're good in this area? So are you good at making sure that the phone calls are happening each week on a certain day and time, or is that kind of loose too? So you have to go through those processes to check your strengths. Okay. And then, so that's number 2. So what's the overall arching goal is number 1. Number 2, what's the strength? What's the weakness is number 3. So what's the weakness? What's so weak about your company, your team? Are you guys just following up with one lead source? Do you guys have just one lead source? Which at that point, that 800-pound gorilla that you have in your market is going to kill you. You guys are going to ultimately slowly go to a demise if you guys have one lead source that's good. Okay. Are you guys bad on marketing? Are you guys, you have 5 lead sources, but one's good and all the rest are just causing you, a bunch of expenses. The burn rate is just massive for you guys. Okay. So, goals, strengths, weakness. Okay. Number 4, sales, which is going to come all the way back to goals. Okay. Because sales, what are you guys looking for? How can you guys get better at sales? Training is going to be in that sales aspect. Okay. So sales. Okay. You want to make sure that there's a lot of sales going on, a lot of conversation. If you guys have one lead generation avenue and you add 5 more, are they doing good? And what does that look like? What are the sales conversations with your clients? What are the sales? Have you guys ran the data on? Because most agents, even myself, I've done this before, where you have a situation where you ultimately sit into a just a mediocre scenario, and you get leads, they come in, you don't convert them. It's like, there. And I just heard this book the other day, or I was listening to this book the other day while I was driving in the car, and they were talking about like, okay, well, hey, let's say you have each lead is a $20 bill and you don't follow up with them, or it's just a crap lead source. So you can consider each lead that you don't follow up with and convert, and or money that you're putting out, each $20 bill, of taking it, standing over the toilet and ripping it up and throwing it in the toilet. Personally, as that sinks in, you don't want to do that. But you see it in an account and it's like, oh yeah, that's just, the way business goes. But you got to be more intentional and also use it more tangibly on what you're looking for buying into any type of lead source and or sales. So are you paying X, Y, and Z, and you're really not, hitting that mark on the sales? Well, it's going to come to number 5. And this is something that took a long time for me to realize, but marketing is key. And that second piece to it. So it's going to be a subsection. I go back to the goals, but marketing follow-up. Okay. So Is your marketing driving people to a website, and or are they driving to a phone directory? Are they, do you have some type of inbound leads? And then how are you following up with those leads? And how is your marketing? If you're doing, let's say, commercial ads, or you're doing some type of pay-per-click, what type of lead source is coming in? And if it's not generating any income, even if you're putting $400, $500, $600 out a month, okay, let's say, and you run a team, and there's one lead that comes in, how are you converting that lead? And then what's the scenario that you're going to say, okay, well, I'm either going to cut this lead source and try something else, or you're going to say, it's not even worth my time. I'm going to back out and, go find something else. So it really depends. But ultimately, you want to have some marketing generation that is coming in, and you guys are providing them value, okay? And then you're following up with something that is of value to that person, that buyer or the seller, or the buyer if you're selling, cars or anything like that. Usually, agents get a bad name. I'm going to talk about agents here for a second, but agents get a bad name, and they're put into a category where it's almost like car salesman. So if there's car salesman, or ex-car salesman or retired car salesman listening to this, the scenario is you don't really want to be in that area of, just always having a bad name. And agents always push out some type of marketing where it's like, hey, you can trust me. You know me because you saw me at the coffee shop the other day, and I've sold 50 homes. Do you see a physician coming into your, the patient room and saying, okay, when you're sitting there, hey, I've done, 50 surgeries today? No. I mean, usually the reputation builds up, right? But what does that do for you as an individual outside of provide confidence? And usually it's really what's in it for me as a buyer, seller, any type of person that's going to do a transaction with you, if you're in a transaction world. So I would say what you need to do is, as a realtor, as a lender, as a person that's running a business, what's in it for that person? So provide value, and then you can actually ask, just like Gary Vee, what is it? Jab, 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 right hook. So what you can do is provide value, and then you can ask. Doesn't matter if you're doing a direct response marketing campaign, or you're having someone else do it. You need to realize that you got to provide that value, and then you can ask. It may take 3 months, it may take 6 months, it may take a year to transact, but if you put those feelers out and you continue to follow up, going back to marketing, that last pillar, or that last key, number 5 of what this business planning is what you need to focus on, is getting leads in. And then you can talk about conversion. Then you can talk about sales. Then you can talk about ultimately how you can help more people and be more of an asset versus, someone that is just showing. I mean, ultimately, most, people I know, if I'm looking at real estate, most people just put their name out there, and it's more of a brand recognition. And how many people do that to the point that it doesn't seem like it's going to be an added benefit? It more seems like it's just a pain to, just a pain for people. So I would say, or, turns people off to the point that it's like, oh yeah, you're just another real estate agent. Sounds like a pain. And I don't even want to deal with it. I'll go with my friend that has always added value and always been there and always never judged me. So let's go recap these real quick. So you got goals for 2023 for your business. So if that means you want to sell 50 homes, or if you want to sell 50 cars a month, or if you want to sell 50 cars for 6 months and then sell 75, or put the goals down there. and then have the subsections in there how to get there. Okay. If you have multiple salespeople on your team, to get there, to get to the next transaction. Okay. Strengths. Okay. What's the strength of your team and or you to get to that level of 2023 goal setting and accomplish those things? So at the end of 2023, you're like, yeah, I mean, we set out to sell 125 homes or, do 125 loans, and we got to 112. I feel like that's a success. So, and I would believe that success, especially if it would still be good with a changing market, let's say, but let's say you were at, 90 homes and you sold 80. With a changing market, I would say that's you're still good. It's not like you lost a lot, but if you went from what is huge, even if it's 20% increase so if you did, let's say you did, I don't know, 70 homes a year, okay, in 2022. And then all of a sudden you did 20% more, which would be 84. So now all of a sudden you did 84 sales. That's a win. So if you had a projection of 125 and you hit 84, granted, okay, let's see what's wrong with that, why you didn't hit the 125. But so what's your strengths? What's your weaknesses? What are the things that are going to knock you out of the game if you go up against that, dominant factor, a dominant person, 800-pound gorilla in your market. Okay. And try to fix those situations, branding, all that other stuff, fix all that stuff that's maybe weighing you down and your team down. Sales. Okay. How many times are people talking to, that prospect, how you're following up, let's go ahead and redefine those scenarios for your company and or your team. So you know exactly what's going on. Okay. And then marketing. Okay. Because then that goes to 4. If you tighten up the marketing, it's going to, it's probably a weakness for a lot of people. So you're going to eliminate that as a weakness. There's maybe some other stuff, follow up or something like that you need to tighten up. Strengths all of a sudden increase because your marketing is solid. And then your goals are going to go up, maybe even past 125. So goals for 2023, define those. Strengths, this is for business planning of 2023. Strengths, weaknesses, sales, and marketing. Okay. That's all cohesive on how the outlook looks for 2023 as you are doing business planning. So, no guest today, but I just appreciate you guys. Hopefully you guys have a great holiday season here in the next couple of weeks. And this is Peter with Real Estate Trends and Market Updates. We'll catch you guys next week.